Hi everybody, this is Gary Dean with Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Sunday, October 22nd, 2023. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend, and let's get started. So, I pulled the buy order, the buy alert that I had, just because I was really looking at some kind of panic setting in, and it being we didn't really have any bullish divergences on the daily chart here. Once we got through that support level, the 42.71, this is when selling really started picking up again, and we're right at some critical support right here. If the bears can push through this, there is support down at this 41.84 level. That's also the 50% retracement. So that's a line we want to watch. And if they lose that, this is where things are getting a little bit concerning. Is that if they lose this support right here, there's really nothing underneath it until we get down to the 4100, and you can see we have the 62% retracement that's sitting at the 40.85. So these are potential downside targets, and why, I didn't want to be layering in when the S&P is dropping 50 points a day. It's just that it's not, like I said, I like my sleep, and we had the bounce. If we would have held support, it would have made it easy to buy, and then we would have been looking for the next move up. But right now, with everything going on geopolitically, there's just a real lot of fear out there, and I do believe that we're going to be setting up for a decent, a decent little long trade. But what these green say columns are here, what we're looking at is it's another one of those time sequence and time and price. So from this high down to this low, basically what you do is you just copy it and then put it at the top here. And what it's doing, I don't know if this is going to play out. I'm just showing you what I'm looking at and the possibility. But we're looking for a low to come sometime right around that November 9th. And if you notice, this is our support. This is where it's pointing to. So the distance from here to here and from here to here brings us right into the 62% retracement level, and it's some good support, and that's going to be right around that 40.50 level. So again, I'm not sure it gets there, but I'm definitely leaving the door open, especially as these tensions are rising, overseas right now. I think a lot of people are more, saying, let me get out of here, this, and let the dust settle, and I'll ask questions later, because it's we've dropped a lot of points in not a lot of days, and everybody was pretty bowled up for it. Now we're going to be looking at everybody getting really bared up, and from there maybe we look for a scalp trade. But I'm like I said, I want the market to prove to me that it's making a low before I start jumping in, just because getting in and when there's panic out there, you can get hurt real fast. So I want to make sure that the low is in, makes some support to get held. And the thing is, if it holds here, and it does, then this is a double bottom, and this wouldn't be a bearish case. This would be a bullish one where we'd be looking for a move to come back up somewhere into that the 4,400 level. So we got to see what plays out tomorrow. One thing I did say on Friday in the morning notes was that because we did have a little bit of a gap higher on Friday. And from there, that we just saw sellers just step right in. So things didn't really last all that long for the bulls, and they gave it a try, but it's just not. Like I said, there's more fear out there than anything. And as much as that does look like a great buying opportunity, when fear is really there, then we could see just support levels taken out. But we do have some bullish divergences on the 15-minute chart. This is the one that was holding me back, was the 60-minute chart, because this is this is a pretty big move down. You can see momentum is hitting levels that we were, right before we have the final push down. So, I'm kind of thinking that we're going to be coming down into the 41.80, and I'm leaving the door open that we're going to come down and test these, the 4,100 level, if not a little bit lower than that. So these are the downside targets until the bulls can get price back above the 43.50. The bears are in control, and they're going to continue to try to bring the tape down. But as I said, we have support levels. We don't have the divergences. So being we do have some on the 15-minute chart here, we could see a bounce back up to somewhere up into the 42.50 level, maybe maybe a little bit higher. But it should fail, and the reason why I'm saying that is that if we do get up here and start testing some of these resistance levels, it's going to give momentum time to move up, and then we get another lower low where we get the nice bullish divergence in place, and from there we we look for the long trade. Now the difference though, if that say preferred pattern does play out, is we're going to have some real nice bullish divergences on the daily chart. So this is something that I'm interested in. And like I said, when we make a low, when we have bullish divergences on the daily charts, typically it's 200 to 300 points on the S&P, and that's really the trade that I'm looking at. But this momentum is, we still have a little bit more to go before we're into the oversold levels. And again, if we just make new lows, we're most likely going to have bullish divergences in place, and now we just need to wait for the 60-minute to give us the buy signal, and then we get long. And even if the trade's just up to 43.50, if we're getting long in the somewhere between 42 and 41.50, it's a nice trade, and that's all we're looking for. I'm not looking to hang on to any swing trades right now. I think things are very dangerous, so we just use the number part, meaning that we look at 100 points on the S&P when we're profitable, we take some off. We just keep layering it and putting stops in place, and then once everybody gets bullish on the market, then most likely we'll be looking on the short side. But right now, I do believe that we did. We could get a bounce, but most likely these lows are going to get taken out, and I may try somewhere around that 41.85. I gotta just want to wait and see what the sentiment is out there. Meaning, are people still panicked about what's going on in overseas and what's going to happen with inflation and stuff like that? So first hurdle for the bulls, they got to get above 42.58. If they do that, then we should see a move up somewhere up into, well, say to 42.58, 42.60. If they get above it, we should see a move coming somewhere up into the 4,300, and then we have 43.13, which is the moving average. So most likely this is going to be the area that the bears are really going to most likely defend. And then down here, the support levels, we have the 42.16, which we're not too far from, and then we go down to this the 41.86. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Just enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you guys in the morning.